everybody? Thank you so much for joining me for another episode of 10 Minute Tuesday. If you haven't already, please like, share, and subscribe. In today's episode, I have Angela Henderson in the building. Angela, what's going on? How you doing?
Hey there, how are you, Saku?
I'm good. I'm good. Thanks so much for taking time out to record.
Thank you for having me. I'm excited to be here.
Awesome. Awesome. So we've done a number of these, so I'll go ahead and dive into it. Angela, go ahead and introduce yourself to the people.
Thank you. I'm Angela Henderson. I am the mastermind behind Strategic BI Solutions. And when I'm not busy revolutionizing the business intelligence world, you can find me turning data into dazzling Tableau and Power BI dashboards and mastering the perfect Pilates plank, believe it or not, although not simultaneously.
So
That would be a
multifaceted.
feat.
Yeah, I love it. I love it. Right. You got the plank going on while you're doing LOD calcs, while doing some DAX. You got some crazy stuff going on.
Yeah, that
Love
would
it.
be something.
That would be. That would be. So yeah. So utility knife, right? Multiple tools, running your own business and everything. But at a certain point, you had to get your start. So what really compels you to get into data to begin with?
Yeah, I like that utility knife, by the way. I might steal that handle from you. Well, what compelled me to get into data was actually, you probably hear this a lot. It was completely by accident, just like many enthusiasts, data enthusiasts I know. One day I found myself knee deep in spreadsheets. And before I knew it, I had developed a deep proficiency for Excel. And I started using Excel like a database, pushing it to its absolute limits. At one point, I was practically living in Excel using Power Query to wrangle data, creating pivot tables and slicers to make sense of it all. And then I was crafting visualizations in Excel that would make Picasso proud, probably. But despite my background in banking and finance, I was soon deemed the Excel guru of my team. And who knew that a simple love of Excel spreadsheets and organizing numbers could turn into a full-blown data obsession? And of course, there were times when Excel would crash, and I joke that it was just trying to take a break from all the data drama that I was giving it. But and pivoting, speaking of pivot tables and pivoting, I guess you could say I pivoted my career from finance to data. And I'm actually certified in Power BI and SME and Tableau, but I still have that valuable foundation in business and that business acumen, which comes in handy. It adds a lot of value to my personal brand. And I would highly recommend not, if I'm going to give advice to anyone unsolicited, don't get knee deep in learning the tools. If you're going to a job, learn the business. That's going to help you out a lot. Or learn both, but make sure you also learn the business. And along the way, I've just had great bosses and mentors who encouraged me to become a data enthusiast, and I've just been loving every moment of it.
Love that. Love that. I feel like, excuse me. I feel like Microsoft Excel is like the gateway introduction to like all things data. Like if you interview like 100 data analysts, it's like I started doing stuff with Excel and pivot tables, and then I learned SQL, and then I learned different tools and everything.
Yeah, absolutely, absolutely.
Good deal. So, all right. So you've been on your journey, you do a lot of things, right? Very proficient in different tools. Had a lot of different exposure, but there's a philosophy here that we call failing forward. So when you think about your journey, what would you consider to be your biggest failure? Quotation marks around failure, and then what did you really learn from that experience?
Yeah, I like that failing forward. My biggest failure was designing pretty dashboards at first, early on, without focusing on the storytelling value or solving the business problems. I was more of a dashboard decorator than a data storyteller, and I had to fight my creative side in order to get there to where I needed to be. I learned that while a pretty dashboard can catch the eye, it's a story behind the data that truly matters. And now I make sure my dashboards are not just visually appealing, but also packed with insights that drive real business solutions and value. Um, Lesson learned, it's not just about making data look good again, it's about making data work good. And it's like a book with a beautiful cover if you're making it with no plot. So that was my biggest failure in quotes, if you could
Yeah.
say.
I love your book cover analogy. I'm actually gonna take that whenever I go speak. So I love that
Okay, and
though.
I'll take the utility knife.
All
So will
right,
you.
deal. We'll swap out. But no, I love the consistent theme, right? Everything has to be tied to the business, no matter what. Like business outcomes, business Like, why am I doing this? How's this going to impact the business? Who's viewing this? Like, how's it going to move the needle? So, absolutely love that mindset. All right. So thinking about this, right? Number of jobs, finance to data, have done a lot of different things. What's one lesson that your job has taught you that you think everyone should learn at some point in their life?
Yeah, that's a good question. So I would say, don't be afraid to be wrong, and like you mentioned earlier, fail forward. Mistakes help you learn and grow, and so embrace your errors, learn from them, keep moving forward. It's all about progress, not perfection. And I used to tell my mentees that all the time. They were so worried about doing the perfect dashboard, and I was flattered that they were emulating me, but at the same time, um, it was producing sometimes an environment of being afraid to fail, not being aware of the years of experience and maybe the blood, sweat, and tears I had put into it, before them, if they're just coming out of school. So um, don't try to be perfect. And I have an example. I once tried to automate a report and crashed the whole system. So it was a disaster, but I learned a lot. Now I'm great at automation and always double check my work or have somebody QA it for me. But remember, every failure brings you closer to a success.
That's it. That's it. Every failure gets you close to success. You got to go through those growing pains, and you never forget them
Mhm.
after you go through it. So I love it. All right. So the target audience for this are people who are just getting into data, or they're in college or boot camp or what have you, but they're just starting out, and you know they don't know what to do. Right. So what's one piece of advice you give someone who's just starting out in their career?
Yeah, I would say focus on both technical skills and soft skills, as I mentioned earlier in the call. Being good at your job is important, but communication, teamwork, problem solving are just as crucial. For example, being able to explain complex data in simple terms is a valuable soft skill. So many people learn the highly complex coding and querying and so forth. But if you ask them what it means and can they sit in front of a senior executive, they're not prepared for that. So the combination of these skills will help you grow your personal brand, and being well-rounded is the key to success.
Love that. Love that. I actually have a talk that I do that I've been doing this year,
Mhm.
where it's been showing the value of your technical stuff to non-technical stakeholders. So like I'm
Ah,
sure you've probably seen this. So many developers or tech people will come in and be like, I've created this LOD detail and I have these four relationships and my number is wrong because and the CFO is like, bro, what's my number? Like, what's going on?
exactly. They don't care that you have this complex calculated field that you're proud of it, sure. But they could care less.
Yeah, yeah, love that, love that. Awesome. All right, so tell me about the most influential people in your life and how they made an impact on you.
Yeah, so the most influential people in my life were those who supported and believed in me and still are and still do. Their encouragement and empowerment helped me become the best version of myself. Um, you can emulate someone, you can, admire them, but you always need to be yourself. Their encouragement and empowerment helped me become that best version of myself, and they made a huge impact on my journey. And I'm forever grateful for their guidance and belief in my potential. Sometimes you're not there, and you need someone to just see your potential and run with that. Give them a chance when they're not quite up to speed, and they'll be a sponge. They'll take it all in. So I remember once doing a particularly challenging project, my manager believed in me even when I didn't believe in myself. I thought my skills were underdeveloped and I was feeling overwhelmed. And my manager sent me a Teams message with a meme that says, "You got this, girl." And I just melted. And that just gave me enough momentum to be able to learn what I needed to learn, do what I needed to do. And it actually was the impetus that helped me to become an expert in tableaux. So um, it became my daily reminder that someone believed in my abilities, and it gave me the confidence to push through something that I was feeling really insecure about. So their humor and support made even the toughest time more bearable. So it's not just one person, but a couple of people or several people in my life have had those same qualities.
Shout out to the managers, especially the ones that empower you and give you that feedback, especially when you're in your own head about like, oh, did I create this? Am I thinking about this right? Like, you got this. You're cool.
Mhm.
Sometimes you just need like those few words, like you said, to be able to get through the meeting, the deliverable, whatever it is. So shout out to the managers that impacts you, Angela. That's awesome.
Yeah, thank you.
Yeah, yeah, awesome. All right, so where can listeners find you at online?
Yeah, so listeners can find me online at my website at it's https strategybisolutions.com, or my email it's cfo at strategybisolutions.com. And I'm on LinkedIn. I'm Angela Henderson on LinkedIn. I also have a LinkedIn business page under Strategic BI Solutions.
Awesome. Y'all heard it here. The links will be posted in the comments as well. Follow her. Make sure you get the good content that she's posting. She's doing some great stuff out here. So thank you, Angela, for taking time out today to record. I really appreciate it.
Thank you, Sekou. It's nice to meet you. Thank you for having me.
Likewise, likewise. And as I said in the beginning, if you haven't already, please like, share, and subscribe. And we'll talk to y'all next week. Y'all have a great day.